Hello everyone, my name is Space Junk, and today I will be talking about the Empire, one of the youngest galactic powers in the universe. And it all began in the 23rd century with an anti-Federation activist called Marilyn Duval, being a fierce opponent against the Federation administration. Eventually she gathered all of her family and a lot of supporters, and they left the Federation. Marlin led them to a distant star called Achenar, or Achenar, depends on how you want to pronounce it. Many light years away from Sol, and she found a new colony based on peaceful ideals. They renamed it Capital. It was all. Um, you had this star system which had a lot of gas giants, and there was a gas giant class 3, and it had a couple of moons, and there was this one moon that was just perfect for her, and she created it. That moon would become Capital and the core world of her empire. Everything stayed out very well, and the colony expanded, and everything went very peacefully. Every situation they encountered was dealt with peaceful methods of dialogue. They didn't wage war because she didn't want to wage war. And the original idea of Achenar, that it was a democratic republic, kind of the same as the Federation, only then not with the same administration and with their own ways of dealing with things, like not waging war and stuff like that. She just wanted this really peaceful utopia kind of thing, and she created with her family and with all of her supporters as well. Having successfully built this colony, everything went well, but then Martin DeVol died a few years later in a shuttle accident, together with her partner and her children. And although there was never any evidence surfaced by the fact that Hansen de Val might have done it, her brother Hansen de Val, a lot of people still think that he might have some ties with the accident, because he really quickly took over her power after the accident, and he basically forged a lot of hatred towards the Federation, but also like within the Empire, with a lot of propaganda, with a lot of things. He kind of forced the people to think that the Federation were the bad guys, and they actually forced them to invest a lot in military might as well. So he kind of turned around the pacifistic ideas. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but the pacifistic ideals that his sister had, and he turned around the complete idea of Achenar and of Capital. They got a lot of colonies to join them, and the Federation tried to invite a lot of colonies to join the Federation. All those colonies denied, and actually approached nearby colonies of the Federation to join them, and that worked. A lot of people thought that the Federation wasn't good anymore, and they all joined the Empire, and that's why the Empire grew so much. And eventually the Empire grew from a couple of systems to galactic power, and that really went on because in the year 2324 the Federation launched a armed invasion towards the Empire of multiple ships to just completely destroy or cow all the rebellious systems, and with that matter the rebellious systems would suffice, that they would surrender, and then the Federation would have a lot of their power back. But they only brought a lot of multi-purpose ships, and not really anything worth fighting. They just brought so much, but it wasn't good. It was just quantity over quality. And then the Federation had much more than the Empire. The Empire had much more than the Federation had suspected, and the Empire came back with a lot of warships, and they completely destroyed the Federation. The Federation had to retreat, or else they would just lose everything. And from that point on, they had a really big embarrassing moment, the Federation, because they were the biggest might ever, and then they turned into this mouse that was just running away from the Empire. And from that point on, a lot of colonies actually wanted to join the Empire instead of the Federation. A lot of neutral colonies, because yeah, the Federation wasn't good anymore. They all wanted to join the Empire, and that's why the Empire grew so much, and that's why they're rivals now instead of just a rebellious colony. So this is the history of the Empire in a nutshell, and the history of the Empire is so big, just like the history of the Federation in my last video. That's also really in a nutshell. But these history stories are really interesting, and they are really the basic of lore in Elite Dangerous. So I'll make another video about the Alliance really soon. But keep in mind that these 3 videos that I'm making for the history of the certain factions are the basic history of anything, like um, the research towards FSD drives, the ships, how they were made, just like what I mentioned in my other video. I'll make separate videos about all of those things, because all of those things I find more interesting than the origin of some of the factions, because the origin of the factions, although it's very interesting and it's very deep, it's also the basic lore of the game. And what I find interesting is stuff like the Targoids. Are they real or are they not real? Well, they probably are real, but where are they, and what kind of ships do they have? And obviously, the generation ships is something that I find really interesting. Stuff like that. Mysterious stuff that is a really interesting lore to Elite Dangerous. So I'll be making more videos about that in the future. I might make videos about the history of these 3 factions in the future as well, to just go deeper into the nature of that. But these 3 videos are just basic. It's kind of experiment for myself as well, because I've never done videos like this. And please keep in mind that these videos are kind of different from each other, because I want to try um, certain formats, and please do tell me if you like these formats or not. So yeah, if you got any tips on anything, leave it in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.